Today we're going to discuss how we convert metric units. There are two ways to convert in the metric system. You could base it all on memory, if you can memorize all the prefixes and the correct order, and multiply or divide the number you are converting by that multiple of 10. Or you can use the prefix sentence that we discussed in our last lecture. That prefix sentence was, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And you remember the first letter in each word relates to the prefix that it represents. K, kilo, H, hecto, D, deca, B, base unit, small d, deci, small c, centi, and small m, milli. Okay, so let's say we have a 2-liter bottle of water. Now remember, I'm a science teacher, not an artist, but here's my 2-liter bottle of water. Okay, so this is 2.0 liters. Okay, now if we wanted to convert 2 liters to kiloliters, we could just plug it in at our starting point. So the liter is, remember, a base unit. Okay, now if we wanted to convert it to kiloliters, kiloliters is over here. So in order to get to kiloliters from the base unit, we have to jump through 1, 2, 3 prefixes. So each time we jump to a prefix, we have to move the decimal point in that direction. So 2.0 liters becomes, when we jump to the left, we got to go 1, 2, 3 spaces with our decimal point. Now we have 2 empty spots, which we fill in with zeros. So 2.0 liters is equal to 0.002 kiloliters. Now, remember, the units have to stay the same. The base unit must remain the same, so it has to stay as a kiloliter. It can't become a kilogram or a kilometer. It has to stay kiloliter. Now, if we wanted to go the opposite way and convert 2 liters to milliliters, we would move our decimal point to the right, and that would have to move to the right 1, 2, 3 places to the right. So 2 liters is equal to, let's do the math. You move it 1, 2, 3. You move that decimal point to there, and you have to fill in the marks here. Remember that this decimal point is no longer here. So your answer is going to be 2,000 milliliters. So 2,000 milliliters is equal to 2 liters. You see how easy it was to do that. We just simply move the decimal point. For every time we pass a prefix, we multiply or divide that number by 10. If we're moving from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we're dividing by 10 each time. If we're moving from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we're multiplying by 10 each time. Sometimes you may see numbers written without a decimal point. Okay, so for this example, if this just said 2 liters instead of 2.0 liters, if it was 2, it is a whole number. So you have to put the decimal point behind the whole number. If the number was 554, the decimal point is at the end of the whole number. If you don't see a decimal point in the number, you can assume that the decimal is at the end. All right. Otherwise, you should see a decimal point in the number. So you'll see something. You would see 5.54 or 0.002. All right. The decimal point is there. So if it's a whole number, the decimal point is at the end. Okay. Let's do a couple more practices. Okay, I just wrote the first letter of our sentence. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, I know that this means kilo, hecto, deca, base unit, deci, centi, milli. Okay, so let's convert 3.2 kilometers to centimeters. So if we had 3.2 kilometers, we got to go to our starting point. and we wanted to find out centimeters, how many centimeters that is, we simply have to count up the number of prefixes we pass to get there. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that tells us that this decimal point right here has to move to the right 5 times. So 3.2 becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go add in the zeros where we need to. So 3.2 kilometers becomes 320,000 centimeters. Okay? Let's clear this and try another one. We'll put our prefix symbols across the top. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Now, this time, let's go the other way. Let's convert 257.6 milligrams to kilograms. So, we can see here we have a decimal. All right, we have to go all the way over to kilograms. So how many spaces is that away? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to move this decimal point 6 places to the left. So let's do that down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And add in the zeros. Okay? The reason I make the loops is because it reminds me to add the zeros there. So, 257.6 milligrams is equal to the same amount as 0.0002576 kilograms. Notice in all these examples, the base number is still in the answer. Okay, so 2576 is still in here. Okay, so the base number never leaves. The decimal point will just move to the right or to the left, depending on the unit of measurement you're using. So some key things to remember here. One, remember the prefix sequence by using the sentence, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. 2, plug in your starting number at the starting unit. So if they give you the units in centimeters, 256 centimeters, and they want you to convert it to kilometers, plug it in at the centimeter mark. 3, find the decimal in your number. Remember, if it's a whole number and there's no decimal, it's at the end. 4, find the prefix you're converting to. 5, count the jumps. So count how many prefixes you have to pass and note the direction you're going. And last, move the decimal and add the zeros when necessary. Okay, so that's how we convert in the metric system. If you have any questions, we'll be walking around the classroom tomorrow. Please feel free to ask. You're going to have workbook pages. You're going to have handouts that allow you to practice this. Please check and make sure your answers are correct and you understand how to do it. Okay? We'll see you soon. Have a good night.